The Kingdom of Bhutan, also known as the Land of the Thunder Dragon, is well known for their ancient traditions. But the king of the kingdom went against those traditions for his ladylove. What compelled him to do so? Why would a king go against his own country's culture? And most importantly, how are people still supporting the king and queen after that? In this video, we'll discuss how Jigme Khesar, the king for whom love was above traditions, defied his country's deep-rooted customs by prioritizing his love above all. The Kingdom of Bhutan has been under a monarchic government with Jigme Khesar as the king. Jigme is one of the youngest kings in the world's history. He has been deeply committed to his responsibilities since he ascended the throne. But unlike the previous kings, Jigme has made Bhutan a much safer place for the world, and even for his people. The people of Bhutan have always been pretty conservative in their customs. Until the early 2000s, Bhutan did not have access to television, which can provide a scale for you to measure how conservative they were. The King and Queen of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar and Jetsun Prema's love, is one of the rarest in today's time. Jigme Khesar and his now queen, Jetsun Prema, met for the first time on a royal vacation when he was just 17 and Jetsun was 7. Jetsun was not an official royalty, but her family was a close ally to the royal family. At the naive age of 7, Jetsun was quite fascinated with the prince and had innocently proposed to the prince, who, in response, joked that he would marry her someday if they found themselves in love. With their age gap and Jetsun's non-royal status, no one thought of their potential relationship. Little did they know that this innocent proposal of hers would rule the king's heart for years, and she would be the only woman the king loved. Years passed, and they moved out of Bhutan temporarily to study. Jigme then graduated from Oxford with a degree in political sciences, whereas Jetsun became an international relations graduate from Regent College in London. Studying abroad was an eye-opener for the king because his perception of many things had changed by the time he returned to Bhutan. In 2006, Jigme Khesar ascended the throne after his father's abdication. A few years later, his childhood love rekindled, and at the age of 31, he finally tied the knot with a 21-year-old Jetsun Prema in a lavish wedding ceremony, and Jetsun ascended to the throne as the Dragon Queen. The marriage itself had already attracted the public. Since Jetsun did not belong to the royal family, it was a shock for the people of Bhutan to see how easily the king disregarded the customs passed down for decades. During the ceremony, the couple sat on the royal throne surrounded by several Buddhist monks. After the ceremony, the couple went ahead to greet the people of Bhutan. Their wedding celebration continued for almost 3 days, and during that, he did not hesitate to confess his love for his wife. Even though opposed in most countries, polygamy is allowed in Bhutan. It is not only allowed but also considered a respectful custom for a royal to marry multiple wives simultaneously. It is a tradition in Bhutan that when a king gets married into a family with numerous daughters, he gets married to all the sisters simultaneously. It is a norm, and the people of Bhutan are fine with it. In fact, such a marriage was also legal in the eyes of law and the dominant religion in Bhutan, Buddhism. However, Jigme Khesar had decided that he would have only one wife. He had met Jetsun almost 14 years before their marriage, so he already knew that Jetsun had multiple beautiful sisters. Still, he had already decided to withdraw himself from the shackles of this old tradition. He knew that this polygamous tradition was behind the time, and he was sure of having just one wife. The people of Bhutan supported his decision, and instead of being angry, everyone was fascinated by their kind of love. Some might think that since the marriage had taken place, now there wouldn't be any controversial takes by the king, but that is not it. The king did not stop here. Watch till the end of the video to know how the king defied even more customs of the country. And remember to subscribe to our channel first. This was one of many traditions that the king broke. In Bhutan, it is not permissible to show any kind of affection to your partner in public. Even during the wedding ceremony, it is not allowed for the couple to show actions of affection towards each other. But Jigme went against that and openly showed his love for his wife without considering what people would think. In Bhutan, it's often considered offensive for a husband and wife to stand close to each other in public. They must be at some distance, but Jigme did not hesitate to showcase his feelings for his wife. They've been seen holding hands at every event they've attended together. In fact, Jigme often did not hesitate to appreciate his wife for her extraordinary personality and charisma. The couple broke many of the reservations between the general public and the royal family. After their wedding, the young couple travelled around the country to engage in helpful activities for their own people. They also started a tradition where they met the general public in person and they could ask their king and queen for something. Since Jetson ascended the throne as the Dragon Queen, she has been one of the most influential queens. The people of Bhutan take her as an example, showing how well she manages the roles of both queen and wife. The young woman has been by her husband's side at every step. Together, the couple has managed to bring a modern light to the conservative lives of the people of Bhutan. In 2016, the couple was blessed with the birth of their first child, and they were quick to share their happiness with their people. This, again, was new to people because it was accustomed to keep the personal life of the royals within the palace. The public cherished this news by planting 108,000 plants to show their love for the little prince. Previous kings did their best to hide their wives and children from the public. In fact, it took almost 9 years for people to find that the last king had 4 wives. But this young couple has always been open about their life with the public. They often take trips around the country along with their children. They've never held back from sharing their happiness with the public. In September 2023, the modern couple took to their Instagram to share the birth of their 3rd child and first daughter of the royal couple. With their constant efforts to bring change, they made a historic change when every group of women first got to be a part of the Royal Bhutanese Army. They've advocated human rights and gender equality, and not only that, but the Queen also promotes maintaining a green environment. The King has already dismissed many typical traditions and continues making history in Bhutan. Surprisingly, people are supportive of the King. As a matter of fact, the people of Bhutan believe that Jigme Khesar is bringing a modern touch to Bhutan's traditional practices. Now, we would love to hear your thoughts on this beautiful couple and their continuous efforts for their country. Do you think it is possible to find such kind of love in today's time? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.